Hello again, everybody. Chris Copper here. I'm all set to count down the 40 most played country songs in the nation this week, as according to MediaBase 24/7 for the chart week of April 12th, 2025. Before I get started counting down this week's biggest hits, let's take a look back at last week's top three. At number 3 was Liar by Jelly Roll. Number 2 was Hometown Home by Locash. And the number 1 song last week was This Town's Been Too Good to Us by Dylan Scott. Now, can Dylan make it 2 weeks at number 1? Let's find out starting right now. We have 3 debuts on the chart this week, and here's the first of those. Right now, debuting at number 40 is the 20th top 40 hit by Joe Nichols, and it's the first top 40 hit for Annie Bosco. Their tune is called Better Than You. Here's her second debut, rolling in at number 39, the second top 40 hit by Warren Ziders. He went to number 1 back in March of 2024 with Pretty Little Poison. His new song is called Relapse. In his third week in the countdown, he's up 2 spots to number 38, Ernest with Would If I Could. Up a notch to number 37, George Burge and It Won't Be Long. And here's her highest debuting song this week, coming in at number 36 to follow up to his recent hit, Bones. Here's Russell Dickerson with his 9th top 40 hit, Happened to Me. And with those 3 debuts, we say goodbye to 3 droppers. Falling out this week, I'm Gonna Love You, Fall of Summer, and Everything I Need. On with the countdown, up 4 spots to number 35, Keith Urban with Straight Line. Up a couple to number 34, Dierks Bentley with She Hates Me. Up 4 spots to number 33, second week on our countdown, it's Eric Church with Hands of Time. At number 32 for a second week, it's Parker McCollum with What Kind of Man. Up 2 spots to number 31, Rascal Flatts and the Jonas Brothers with I Dare You. In his 6th week in the countdown, he's up 1 to number 30, Shaboozey with Good News. And here's the week's fastest climbing hit, up 5 spots to number 29, 5th week on our countdown. It's Thomas Rhett with After All the Bars Are Closed. Up a couple to number 28, it's Luke Bryan with Country Song Came On. Up 2 to number 27, Jackson Dean with Heavens to Betsy. Slipping a notch to number 26, Kelsey Hart and Life with You. Up 3 spots to number 25, John Party with Friday Night Heartbreaker. Up 3 spots to number 24, it's Nate Smith with Fix What You Didn't Break. Inching up 1 to number 23, it's Sam Hunt with Country House. Up a notch to number 22, Corey Kent with This Heart. At number 21 for the 3rd week in a row, Carly Pearson, Truck on Fire. In his 13th week in the countdown, he's up 2 spots to number 20, Tyler Hubbard with Park. Inching up 1 to number 19, it's Riley Green with Worst Way. Up 1 to number 18, Josh Ross with Single Again. At number 17, moving up 1, Ella Langley and Weren't for the Wind. Up 1 to number 16, Old Dominion with Coming Home. Slipping a notch to number 15, Kenny Chesney with Just to Say We Did. The number 14 spot, up 2 spots, it's Kane Brown with Backseat Driver. And at number 13 for a second week, Drew Baldridge with Tough People. Slipping a spot to number 12, Bailey Zimmerman with Holy Smokes. And the 11th most played country hit this week is Megan Maroney, moving up 1 with Am I OK? Alright, leading off our top 10 for a second week, it's Jason Aldean, in at number 10 with Whiskey Drink. Down a notch to number 9 is Morgan Wallen's former number 1 hit, Love Somebody. At number 8, moving up 1, his 20th week on the chart, Blake Shelton with Texas. And at number 7 for a second week, Zach Top with I Never Lie. Here's last week's number 1, down to number 6. The song's been on the chart the longest at 42 weeks. Dylan Scott and This Town's Been Too Good to Us. In his 30th week on the chart, he climbs 1 to number 5, Cole Swindell and Forever to Me. Easing down a notch to number 4 in his 20th week on the chart, it's Jelly Roll, the number 1 hit from a few weeks ago called Liar. And at number 3, up 2 spots, John Morgan with Jason Aldean and Friends Like That. The number 2 song belongs to Morgan Wallen. He moves up 2 spots with I'm the Problem. And the number 1 song in country music this week, taking 26 weeks to get here, and this becomes their 3rd number 1 hit. Up a notch this week, here's Locash and Hometown Home. And that is our countdown of the 40 most played country hits this week. Join me again next time, and once again, we'll count them down and find out who's got the number 1 song in North America.